This is the week leading up to the game. So I need to say little else, but we will talk for quite a while here with Justin Rowe from Blue by 90 and head on over to blueby90.com. Justin, we appreciate you stopping by, and here we are.
We made it. We made it. It's 11-0 versus 11-0. You couldn't script it any better. I mean, if you would have told me after last year's Michigan Ohio State game that we'd have even higher stakes somehow than last year, I'd call you a liar. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, Mark. I think obviously you're a college football all year round guy. It's like the season starts and you're like, I'm so pumped for football, but now I always want to get to the Michigan Ohio State game as quickly as possible because I want it to be here. But now I'm like, man, we're to the last game of the year already. I don't want the season to end. Obviously, for Michigan fans, it's like I love winning every week, so we haven't been able to experience 11-0 in a long time.
This is what makes college football so amazing, among so many other things, is that, the stakes of the games and now the stakes of all the other games add up to, okay, the climax being this. And this game is enormous in regards to pride and rivalry and all that. So all that's built in regardless of what their records are. And then you throw on all the national implications, and it's just, it can't be any bigger. It's impossible.
It's impossible to get any bigger. We'll end up, so we're number 2 versus number 3, right? I mean, nobody, who cares about the SEC, Mark? Nobody cares about Georgia. Yeah, no, I mean, I think like this is, to me, as a Big Ten fan, this is the pinnacle. Like, this is, I mean, it does not, I think you could say a lot of people, you could pull a lot of people and they'd say, college football is at its best when Michigan, Ohio State are going at it for the Big Ten title game, and more, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's one thing Ohio State and Michigan fans can agree on is the magnitude of this game.
Yeah.
Of the game every year, and then this particular game. First time since 2006, they both come in undefeated. So we saw what we saw at the Big House and in College Park last week. And maybe they were look aheads, letdowns, all those things, but there were quality opponents in play. I don't want to take away from them. So we'll focus on the Michigan end of it. And obviously, as it applies to, because regardless of how they got it done, they got it done. So it's checked off, it's done. So we don't need to go into it from that aspect, but more from Justin. I jumped on here at halftime of the Michigan-Illinois game.
Was the sky falling?
Oh, my word. Like, people were saying, and I'm not talking about like one crackhead. I'm not talking about 3. I'm talking about dozens saying,
oh my gosh,
season's over. Season's over. I'm not even watching next week. We're going to get killed. I'm like, people, calm.
But are the Ohio State fans saying the same thing? Because I think it's just, I think college football fans are just crazy in general. But I think, I think that, to me, like, that it's just the epitome of Michigan fans there, where it's like you literally can go a perfect season up until this game and people are still going to doubt. People are still going to like panic mode completely. It's so funny. It's just, you never win by enough. You never, you just can't be good enough ever. I actually went over it, on a couple Twitter spaces on our podcast. Like, can we enjoy having the best 11 game stretch, the best 20 whatever game stretch of Michigan football over the past 2 seasons that we've had since early 2000s, right? Like, that's where we're at. Enjoy it for at least a second, before you go to Columbus. And I think, obviously we all want to like maximize. And I think you look at that Michigan Illinois game and there was a lot of points left on the table for Michigan. There's no going around that. That's for sure. But I think Mark, you watch every single year, even when teams go 11-0, 12-0, whatever it is, they have struggles throughout the year. It's so hard to go out and win every football game every week. Like, I don't think people realize how hard it is, especially when you're a Michigan or Ohio State, when you're getting everyone's best every single week. You've got the target on your back. And Illinois, they're a good football team. They're like legitimately a good football team. Bielema has them really well coached, and that defense is legit. And then you obviously have your Heisman guy go down in the second half, and like everyone's like, shocked that our offense took a hit. And like, I mean, obviously you wanted to see a little bit more probably out of JJ than what happened, but I don't know. I think you're happy to get out of there with a win and get on to Columbus. A lot to learn, but I think that's ultimately you go out and you do what you need to win a football game.
I'm going to say something that both Ohio State and Michigan fans are going to completely reject, and they're not going to remember this or take it to heart, but I'm going to say it anyway. These two teams are playing, so somebody is going to lose the game. And unless that score is 45-10 or something, if this is as good as we think that doesn't mean that the loser's team program is broken. It needs to be like dismantled. There's something wrong. There's something tragically wrong. Yeah,
that's ridiculous of you to say.
Because there's a collision course. Somebody's going to lose this game. So that doesn't mean you need to be happy about it or tolerate it. Yeah, you can be a demanding college football fan and say, we have to win the Big Ten championship and go to the playoff. I totally respect that position as being we're Michigan, we're elite. We're Ohio State, we're elite. Nothing else is going to do. So we've got to go through each other. So we're not playing in the Big Ten West. We can't go 8-4 and go to the Big Ten championship game and win.
Oh my God. It's so unfair, Mark. Oh my God. We could have an entire discussion on
off season.
But yeah, that's off season. Perfect. No, I agree with that 100%. I think, like you go and look at the stats. We had one of our podcasters tweeted out. Let's see here. It was since Harbaugh was hired at Michigan in 2015, there's only 7 Power 5 programs that have at least 5 10-plus win seasons. Clemson, Bama, Ohio State, Georgia, Oklahoma, Michigan, Notre Dame. That's it. So that's where I think you have to look at that as a whole instead of look at this weekend. And if Jim doesn't get it done, then it's like he's back on the hot seat. We're back to 2020, and like, no, he's got this program in the best spot that it's been in a really, really long time.